All right. Good morning and afternoon and evening to everybody. I'm going to get the link right now and then
All right.
send it to
Good.
everybody. All right. So this is Wise Words Wednesday. We're doing our best to connect virtually with everybody and really do some online ofrendas. It was so important to us, first of all, for many of us to just understand and connect for us to take the time during this kind of stay at home, to take the time to go inward, to go deep within ourselves and to see how we are doing. What could we do for our communities? But first we needed to figure out what could we do for ourselves, right? What could we do with ourselves and our families? So that is really what we're doing today. First, looking to see how our communities are, how are we, how is our heart, how is our body, how is our spirit. So this is the time for us to go inward. We have these amazing 4 women warriors who'll be sharing and performing in just a bit. We have Etica Chilome coming out, not from Los Angeles, and coming in through virtual reality. We have Gris Munoz, and we'll go ahead and do bios in just a bit of each one. We have Edies de Anda, one of the Mujeres de Maiz that's close to us and in Los Angeles and has been a coordinator also with us. And Kim Guerra, AKA Brown Badass Bonita. And let me just say, I love saying that. Every time I say that, I get like, exactly, right? So I wanted to open up for many of us through Mujeres de Maiz. It's so important for us to connect and connect to the 4 elements. Today is Mother Earth Day, Madre Tierra Day. Today is a day that we are really connecting with La Madre Tierra, with Tonantzin. Today is also the new moon. And we are understanding that it's a way of honoring and manifesting or femifesting intentions. Today is also one of the last days of National Poetry Month. So we are honoring the word, the palabra, the floricanto, the Xochitl. And what better way than to do it with these beautiful, amazing, wise women, wise not in years, but wise in so many ways. And they'll show that to you through their poetry canto. So one of the ways that we wanted to go ahead and start was just to offer a little smoke and smudge. We have our copalero here. We don't really do this smoke too much, but online, but I just wanted to honor that and know that smoke is being lit in a good way, and that we are doing our best to say, give thanks to Madre Tierra, Tonantzin, Mother Earth, and to each and every one of you out there in your communities and your homes. So many prayers to each and every one of you today. Many prayers to our communities, many prayers to all of the sisters out there who are in their homes or those who may not have homes, to our ancestors and especially the elders right now and all those elders in training. So muchas gracias. The way we would like to start off with our Wise Words Wednesday is with the canto. Some of you who follow Mujeres de Maiz have seen that we've started sharing some of our songs. And so I wanted to share an Enlaquech song, which is about the earth. Actually, it's Viento, Agua, Tierra, Fuego. One of the other songs that we were thinking of to share is a song called Tonantzin, which is kind of one that many, many people within danza and other circles know. But what we'll share today, just kind of protocol-wise and otherwise, is the song that is ours, is the group Enlaquech. It comes from Chicana Floricanto. It comes from 23 years of women sharing poetry and song, and everywhere from ceremonies to colleges to streets, corners, protest, and just honoring the word and knowing how powerful the word is by creating Floricanto and in Xochitl. It changed just one of us and a few of us in a group of 4 to 7 that grew to 7 and then grew to hundreds across the nation, across the community. So I'll do a short version of this, the Viento, Agua, Tierra, Fuego, and then we'll go ahead and start with some of the bios and the songs. I sent the link out, but unfortunately we weren't able to get on Facebook, but we put the links out to share on YouTube. We'll have a recording of this. And so we'll have a recording to share, to place on YouTube. It's actually already going to be on YouTube, so it'll just stay there. And also we have a version that will go ahead and send links more to everybody. So hopefully all the sisters have the links, or you're able to. Yeah, all right, hopefully. All right, cool. So we'll also recording it, so we'll have lots of different versions. All right, so here it goes. This is from the group In La Catch. Viento, agua, tierra, fuego. Viento, agua, tierra, fuego. Wind, water, land, fire. Wind, water, land, fire. Vente a mi lado. Vente a mi lado. Come to my side. Come to my side. Come to our brothers, sisters that are in God's love. Hiya, 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 hiya. So this is a song by In La Quech, Chicana poetry and song group. It started in 1997, which is the seed of Mujeres and Maiz. It's the first group that came out of Mujeres and Maiz. It's about women just like this, even though we weren't virtual, we weren't online. At the time, we came together just like each and every one of you, how we are today, just a circle of women, and said, hey, I write a little bit at night. I'm not a writer, but I write. I don't call myself a poet, but I write. And then we would hear these amazing, beautiful pieces and be like crying and like hugging and hearts coming out to each other. And that changed everything. It changed us. And it literally started a movement, a femmint. It started 23 years of women of color, art, poetry, dance, song, films, so many things, vendors, so many things have come from Mujeres and Maiz and continue to grow. And now online offerings, right? As a result, always wanting to do it, always like, can we, how, do we, what? And now making it happen. So we're inspired by each and every one of you. We thank you, poets, for sharing today, for coming today, for sharing your palabras. And the way we'll get started today is by sharing some of our música, like we just did, but also just sharing some of this. So the agenda for today, the ideas today is that we did the opening circle. We're gonna share some of the bios, or at least one bio for each of the first poets, and we'll do a round robin for those of you who have been to Floricantos or poetry readings. It's not that one person will share all of their poems, but they'll share at least 2 poems each. And one will go each, and we'll have a little music interlude, tell people we're online, let people promo a little bit about it, and then share some more. So are we ready? Are we ready, everyone? I just put it so that everybody could see it. All right, so we're going to be sharing. These are all the women today, these women warriors and wise poets. So we are going to start with Etica. So Etica, and I'll go ahead and give you the speaker, the speaker view, and we'll pin you so that you're able to be seen, just you and all you in your glory. All right, So Etica Chilome is a queer indigenous mestiza. She's a Salvadorian, Mexican-American poet, writer, and cultural worker. She has been asked to share her poetry and speak on social justice issues on multiple media platforms and in spaces around the country and Latin America, including TEDx, NPR, Remezcla, and the Huffington Post. Her newest publication, El Pomario del Colibrí, is an intimate look at healing and diaspora political resistance. You can follow her on social media at Etica Chilome. We've tagged her, as you can see, in a lot of posts and Insta stories in our Mujeres de Maiz pages. Or you can learn about her work at Etica Chilome. Am I pronouncing everything correctly? Andale pues, that's important for me. I'm a college teacher and I'm always like, let me make sure. How do you say it? Andale pues, so let's give a round of applause. Everybody, you can unmute yourselves if you want to give some energy, or at least like thumbs up, the applause. If you haven't done the Zoom yet, the applause that you can do here. In the reaction section, there's applause, so yes. And we'll go ahead and have Etica share a piece. Ándale pues, go ahead, Etica, and you are pinned. Yes, all right, perfect.
Hola, Shamagashi. ¿Me escuchas? Can y'all hear me? Okay, cool. I'm so honored to be here. I just want to say that. Thank you, Fe, for the song. And thank you all, beautiful mujeres, for coming together and setting this intention to create space in this virtual reality that we are going to have to be in conversation with more and more. And our future generations are going to be exploring in ways that we can't even imagine. So it's exciting to be laying down that kind of root work. So I just want to recognize that I'm calling in from lands that were tended to and are tended to by the Gado, the Wichita, the Comanche, and I am not too far away from the Arquicosa River, which I think in a lot of spaces we do land acknowledgements. We acknowledge the peoples that have been here for a long time and have cared for this land. But I think I've learned from beautiful sisters from different nations that it's also important to recognize the waters that are around us and recognize how they have given life to so many generations of people. You know, the colonial name for the city I'm calling in from is Dallas, Texas, and this is there has been such a big artery for so many of our indigenous migrations to this continent, and it continues to be an artery for so many peoples from all over, indigenous peoples from all over the world. So I honor this land, and I'm calling you from my beautiful sister friend's home who has housed me during this time, and I want to give thanks to her and to all of my relatives who have created a kinship economy to allow me to thrive and survive in this moment, where I've been in the last year houseless for reasons of doing my own journey and work. And so now finding myself in this abundance of economy of sisters and family and relatives and chosen family has been really beautiful. So I want to shout out to, it's like, you know, back in the day, like, shout out to Exie, shout out to Vanessa, shout out to, shout out to all the sisters, right? And then shout out to, I was gonna read a piece by a sister who has inspired me for many years, an Indian scholar and writer, Arahanti Roy, who wrote a piece recently called "The Pandemic is a Portal." I'm not going to read it because I think I want to recognize the time, but I do want to encourage folks to welcome this language of this time, this pandemic being a portal for us to move into a different reality, a reality that honors the land, honors our people, honors the potential of our future generations in a good way. So I want to put that out there as a potential read for all of us. It's called "The Pandemic is a Portal." But I'm going to start this piece, my first piece. This is a brand new piece that just got, it was an invitation by the Dallas Morning News to write a piece about how artists have been spending their time. And I think it's an interesting question. In 200 words, describe how you're spending your days now. How have things changed? Also, please give us a recommendation for one great diversion that is getting you through right now. Could be a book, movie, TV series, podcast, recipe, activity, etc. And tell us why it matters to you. How have things changed? These days, I, a poet, watch the world slowly reach the same conclusions I have. Human rights matter to more than just humans, and the earth is tired of our shit. Purchasing power is not more luxurious than love, and your undoing in quarantine might be the only thing that will save us from indefinite incarceration, eco-genocide. In the ancient cultures I come from, the ones that were burned, imprisoned, and buried into my blood, stories of bats describe a ritual death, an initiation for a new beginning, a rebirth in darkness. These days, like many nights before, I, a queer brown female body in movement, born of criminalized peoples, remember our bodies were never made for or welcomed into a world where loving, moving, and breathing are punished with lethal dis-ease. You see, these days, me and mine, nothing has changed. We continuously, miraculously live into the tender, fierce resilience this warring world has conceived, knowing the fall is coming, but first there must be spring. A recommendation for you hearing this, painfully recognizing the seasons, consider setting aside diversion and being brave enough to see you are seed in potential darkness. Reach for the cool water, find pleasure in thundering nights, touch the earth that is your skin, call in the magic buried in your blood, dare to break open in climax by your own hands. For our work now is to bloom beautiful in chaos and return home come winter. And I will say that my initial response was masturbation, because I think masturbation is a really great tool for us to find joy and connection to ourselves. So that last part was a nice way to say touch yourself and recognize that you're alive and recognize that you have pleasure and that we are able to engage in love and intimacy with our bodies to form resilience in ourselves and in our spirits. So y'all, I'm all about that self-love right now. Do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Etica. It's always so amazing. You know, I've been around spoken word and poetry for many years, even before I started reading and performing myself. And oops, let me share that. And you know, it's so amazing to see the people's energy come across at this point, the screen, but come across on stage or in the cafe or in the school, you know, how it rolls off the tongue, how people's intonations, pronunciations, their movements, the energy. And so, you know, today we have some amazing poets that have that fire, that have the sensuality, the energy of femininity and energy that just rolls off and you're like, I want to hear that poem again. So thank you so much for sharing. Much love. And you know, you can unmute yourselves. I know I'm like, everybody mute yourselves, but you can unmute yourselves if you want to give some energy or love in between. All the love there. So thank you so much for sharing. Next up we have Kim Guerra, aka Brown Badass Bonita. Actually, sorry, our order that we had. Sorry about that. Our order, I was looking too quickly, is Gris Munoz. You ready? All right. So Gris Munoz is a frontera poet, performer, essayist, and fiction writer. She's the author of Coatlicue Girl, her new book that you have to check out. And all of the writers here have books and or publications or zines. So they'll share that in a bit. Gris is the author of Coatlicue Girl. Her work has been published in The Rumpus, Bitch Media, Queen Mob's Tea House, and will be featured in the upcoming Third Woman Press inaugural anthology, as well as, of course, I'm told, or she said that her first poem published was with Mujeres and Maiz, and we love to hear that. Gris is currently commissioned to write the biography of acclaimed LA artist and my homie and her homie, Fabian Deborah, and she lives in El Paso, Texas, El Chuco. I'm adding a little bit to your bio here. You can find her at grismunoz.com. Now let's give it up for Gris Munoz. Hey.
Woo! Yeah.
Aplausos, aplausos.
And Edica, just thank you so much for that piece. You just totally set the tone, and you brought us all, you centered us, and you grounded us, and you kind of started that, you continued that ceremony feeling that Felicia started. And so I really appreciate that. I really appreciate women that carry that strong medicine. So I'm really super honored to be all here with you tonight. And my name is Gris Munoz. And I'm a mujer here in El Paso, born and raised. I am Chicana of Apache descent. And I also wanted to acknowledge the land and those that came before. I'm here in El Paso, right on the border. There is no border, but Juarez is maybe about a block away from my house right now. So I'm just right here. And I want to recognize the ancestral homelands of the Piro, the Manso, Suma, Apache, and Tiwa peoples here. And I really want to thank Mujeres de Maiz for everything. And it's absolutely true. This is actually a true story. I met Felicia on MySpace. I was just starting to write poetry. I was maybe like 25, 24 years old, just for reference. I'm 39 now. So I've known Felicia a long time. And I was this little Chicana poet that will go anywhere. I'll read anywhere. We used to walk around with a bullhorn and go into coffee shops. It was guerrilla poetry at that time. And I was just excited, and I just wanted to share. And I came across Felicia's profile, and I didn't know anything about Mujeres de Maiz. I just saw her, and this is a MySpace profile, okay? And I saw her profile, and I was like, hey, I want you to read this poem. Like, I just randomly sent her a poem, not knowing anything about Mujeres de Maiz. It was just her vibe. I just had this feeling that, I'm gonna cry. I just had this feeling that it would be safe with you. I knew that that every time I offered my poems, it was like I was offering my heart. And there's people that don't really understand that about poets. And at that time, I was 24, 25 years old. It really mattered to me that my poetry got listened to, and it was exciting to me to have anybody read it, anybody. And I sent it to you, Felicia, and you responded, and you loved me. You let me know that you had actually been born in El Paso. And I was like, this girl, she's my sister. And then she told me about Mujeres de Maiz, and she said, that poem that you just sent me, we want to publish it. And it was my first publication ever. And so it has taken me a very long time to debut my book, and it couldn't be that with any other place that I'm actually having a book release party next week to release Cuatlicue Girl through Mujeres de Maiz Live, because really Mujeres de Maiz was my lifeline. And I'm just gushing now. I just love you, Felicia. And then just our trajectory as sisters, and we've been in ceremony together, and we've been in Tenochtitlan, and we've suffered, and we've prayed together, and we've helped each other. And so these connections that I make with these mujeres, they're real. It's not just, Mujeres de Maiz publish me, or Mujeres de Maiz this song, but no, these are my sisters, and we count on each other when we're going through things. And so I just want everybody to be a part of this organization, and I want everyone to be one of our sisters and to feel that way and feel safe through Mujeres de Maiz. So I'm just going on, and I'm going to read a short piece. And this one is called Spirits. And that's my dog, Lucy, barking in the background. Spirits. The spirits are always here. They always have and will, lining the dusty streets, walking toward eternity or nowhere in particular. Most belief systems and people want to believe that souls slip out of bodies and then leave this realm in one way or another, but not all of them leave. Some just stay, wearing that flowered dress or brown loafers they always did. walking the streets and neighborhoods downtown, taking the bus and back again. When we met, he told me that he didn't believe in God or in spirits. He said he couldn't believe in anything he couldn't see. I don't know why I stayed, but I did, and eventually even stopped mentioning the spirits. I didn't tell him I had a feeling that most of the spirits who stay behind stay because they couldn't imagine past the physical world. Months after I left, I realized he hadn't seen me either. The shadow parts, the hidden wonders I kept. He only saw what he could see, and that kind of sight made me dull. He wanted me to trade my eyes for his, so he'd be less afraid. All the world's magic and miracles live halfway in the spirit world. This is who I am. I've learned to grind the root to find medicine, and I have found answers in the visions that come from sleeping by ceremonial fires. I don't want anyone's eyes but my own. Thank you.
Yay.
Yes.
Aplausos, aplausos. They should have like I'm gonna tell. I know somebody who works at Zoom. Oh, maybe they're watching. They were helping us with something earlier, and I'm gonna tell. Can you get like snaps too?
Did you just say you know someone that works at Zoom?
Yeah, but it's actually if you're watching,
everybody.
no. Well, this is actually the son of a huge, important Chicana feminist artist and poet partnership and writer. So we won't say it all, but I'll share later. Pero sí, it's that he's always helping the mom. Like when we had our Zooms, and like he was messaging earlier about something, and I was like, "Thank you so much for figuring out some stuff for us." We still had some Facebook issues. I don't know what happened there. It worked good the other day, but we did some tests. But thank you so much, Chris. That was amazing. And yes, we're going down memory lane. We're connecting down memory lane and talking about how we connect. I teach Chicano studies here in LA, East LA area. And I sent this out to a lot of them. So maybe they're watching. They are going to be creating creative projects. Some of them are choosing Shauki. Some of them are choosing Frida. Some of them, their Central American heritage, all types of things that they can, a poem or a painting, or I said a corrido, a hip hop song. I even said TikTok. I was like, y'all can do TikToks. You can do that challenge. You could do whatever you want as long as you're creating, and supporting. So that's what Mujeres and Maiz and myself are really about, really sharing that energía of creativity. And I'm glad that you shared, how we connected on MySpace. That one's always cracks me up. The MySpace to now Facebook and all the different social media accounts. But the importance of that is that even online we were connecting and connecting through spirit, body, mind and spirit, and poetry and palabra. So thank you so much, Chris. We'll be sharing in a bit. Again, if you're connecting with us live, we put some of the links on our Facebook, and we were going to do our best to actually like hold up the phone and also do it on Instagram, because there isn't a system that does it all now that I know of that does it at the same time. But we're really excited about having everybody share and having all of you come and connect with us in this way. So muchas gracias, Gris. Next up, we have Kim Guerra. She's an artist, a writer, and an entrepreneur. She is the creator of Brown, Badass Bonita, a brand and movement she considers a revolutionary act of self-love and love for our Latinx community. She wants people to wear her shirts as a statement and shield. She wants people to feel like a walking and living revolution when they wear a brown Badass Bonita tee. She creates apparel that celebrates our culture and empowers mujeres. She also writes pieces and creates art and celebrate and explore the complexities of being a Latinx, mujer, POC, survivor, and guerrera. She considers her art and work to be a responsibility to her community of Latinx and Mujeres, and we are honored to have the brown badass bonita here. You know, we all are, obviously we're all brown badass bonitas, but you know, you trademarked it. Or I don't know if you trademarked it, but it is in the virtual sphere. It is trademarked and connected. You can catch her on Instagram and all the social media. And we're just glad to have you. I am not wearing a shirt of yours. Actually, I'm not sure if I have one yet. I gotta get one. But I'm wearing the organization Honor Your Earth, Honor Earth, which is done, organized and created by Winona LaDuke. And so on Mother Earth Day, I thought it was really key to remember. I have millions of shirts and I have my own line too, but I was like, this one's gotta be there. So let's give a good round of applause to Miss Kim Guerra.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it is an honor to be here. I always acknowledge that something sacred happens when mujeres gather and when mujeres share. So I thank you and I honor each one of you and the stories, the heart, el canto que traen. It is a blessing to my life and this world. So thank you. I'm like extra honored and excited. I used to send my poems to Edies and like when I first started writing, like she's one of my, like the writers on IG I like looked up to, and I used to like tag her, send her some of my stuff. And I was like, can like, you know, anybody like read this? Because it was like you said, like Edies, it's such an intimate and courageous act to write and then to share and to put it out there in the world. So thank you all for continuing to be like courageous and vulnerable and sharing your heart and light. I already feel like so full. I just kind of like basking in this goodness, in this gift. So thank you for having me here. This piece, short and sweet, I've learned a lot from having plants and learning to take care of them. And they've taught me a lot. So here we go. Let the plants teach you. A plant won't grow if it doesn't have fertile soil to put down its roots. Without roots from which to anchor and absorb nutrients, a flower will never bloom, nor a tree reach its potential. Light is necessary for plants and people, a source of generous, life-giving energy. Water, dear ones, nourishes us, cleanses us, heals us. Learn from the plants and to surround yourself with elements, environments, and people that are part of your growth and not an excuse that keeps you from blooming. And I had to tell myself this as I was kind of uprooting myself and looking for that fertile soil. And a lot of times, like, I didn't even know what fertile soil felt like in order to grow. And when I started to see like the roots growing from these little plant babies, I'm like, I need to do whatever it takes for my roots to grow. And, you know, we make excuses a lot of the times that keep us from blooming. And at times we call those excuses love. At times we call those excuses obstacles. But when we start to taste that growth and those roots kind of like feeling at home, we start to bloom. And I want to encourage us. And also today, we see that the earth is blooming because a lot of us were removed from her environment. So I hope that we become fertile soil too for those around us.
Thank you so much.
Woo, yeah.
I think it's beautiful that we inspire each other and that we have inspired each other. And I guess it's no coincidence that, you know, we're doing this online and we wouldn't be able to have Etica. We wanted Etica as one of the poets. We wanted Gris as one of the poets for this last March and Women's Day event, our live art show. Also, But, you know, we don't have the funding yet for flights and all that good stuff. So look, it happened. We're like, hey, we always try and figure things out, work with universities, or it's just, you know, it's that struggle. It's that, but we are femifesting, womanifesting, manifesting, all the festing that we are bringing lots of energy to funding to all y'all to support entrepreneurship, the book selling, the YouTube, now that we're going to be using our YouTube, the YouTube ads and selling, that we're going to have all the things that are going to be happening to all of you. We are intentionally putting that out there for the new moon, for Mother Earth Day. We want to give to you, Madre Tierra Tonancintlali, and we want to reciprocate that energy. And hopefully, like you said, that fertile soil, those seeds that we tend to, including support financially, support spiritually, physically, emotionally, heart, and all the others, grow and continue to manifest and bloom. So thank you so much for that, Kim. It was beautiful. So now we have an amazing poet that I have also been lucky enough to organize with. She is a coordinator for Mujeres and Maiz, a lot of the poetry events. She's a Reiki master. She does all kinds of things similar to all of us, right? We are multifaceted in so many ways, in spirit work, in heart work, in writing, and artistic connections. And Edies de Anda, I'm gonna go ahead and share a little bit about her and then hand it off. Edies de Anda is a Huanaca Tapatía poet and musician, a native of Los Angeles. She uses her art to connect to issues of social justice. She is the author of Code Switch, Fires from Mi Corazón, and the host of the Writers Underground Open Mic. She is currently working on her first EP. You heard it all here first. Yep. La música, la lotería card. So give it up for Edies. We can hear you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Hola. I'm so excited to be here with you all. I'm in my porch in Los Angeles, and maybe you can see the trees behind here on the window, but I wanted to bring you some of this sun, some of this beautiful Mother Earth energy. Lucky enough to be surrounded by the hills, and wanting to just bring this corazón energy that Mujeres de Maiz has always given to me. You guys have been medicine, like Liz was saying. There's like confessionals. But I love all of you. I admire all of these mujeres that I'm sharing the virtual stage with tonight. And so I've been feeling emotional and feeling that fire all day. And I'm just gonna go ahead and share this piece. It's new. I wrote it maybe 2 weeks into the quarantine. This is Saturday, March quarantine 2020. I wake up with anxiety. Mid-dream, they tell me a secret. The dark carries so much light. I can see inside of skeletons. The closets are open wide. People are screaming silently, piercing the air of our sanctuary. It's getting loud out there. The world is colliding with egos. Tu amor no es suficiente. Ahora puedo ver más allá de este azul. Echoes of skin once touching, lifting the band-aids from an open wound. Look at the crimson pain, painted over scars. Scared is what they want. Submissive bodies waiting for how long? Some of us don't know how to follow orders, holding the spirit at the tip of our tongue. Alone with the candlelight, chant is somewhere near because it's feeling far. Tell me where to go from here. Screenshot the last person you remember near. We will make it through this, my dear. Ancient echoes knock on walls. In this house, we are daydreaming. Our body temple whole. En tu casa todo cambió. Everyone spread their loneliness across the screen. When they come and tell you what to do, you run into the woods, into the supermarket. Remember, you forgot the lemons while singing in the aisles of warm lullabies and soap. Clean the government cabinets with vinegar mixed with half-truths. Illusion tube is on the rise, feeding fear into the veins of the future, and you're buying in, sinking in the abyss of this dark comedy that has become your life. Stuck in a bedroom with windows that lead to horizons far beyond Italy and China. When it gets dark, the stars are lonely too. When it gets dark, the stars are lonely too. Quarantine the ants and they show up in mass droves in parking lots. Stay put, darling. It's for your own good. Stay in love. It'll save the bees. Stay with me, but far away. It will make sense sometime soon or never. However, stay grounded in Pachamama's womb. Gracias.
Yes, girl. Thank you. Ah, so good.
Wow. What was that? Screenshot? The
Screenshot the last person you remember near.
damn.
Así es.
I say that we all screenshot right now.
I'm like, damn.
So you can post it later. Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Actually, I'm gonna do that. We're gonna take the time because this is actually our like interlude. So we're gonna play some music. We're gonna play some Mujeres de Maiz Artivist Música. These are some of the poets or artists, people who have performed at Mujeres de Maiz over the last 20 plus years. And this one specifically, can y'all hear it? Yeah, okay, cool. This is Entre Mujeres, Marta González, Marisa Ronstadt, Maya Jupiter, all the chingonas all together.
Mismo sonido, tienen el mismo sonido, la madera y la mujer. Madera y la mujer tienen el mismo sonido, tienen el mismo sonido, la madera y la mujer. Porque el toque, el querer, se meten tanto al sentido, se meten tanto al sentido, que no te puedes valer. Que yo toco, siente como una persona, siente como una persona, la madera que yo toco, siente como una persona, siente como una
So we're also on Instagram Live. Somebody is recording like
unas veces
this.
canta y ríe y otras veces gime y llora, unas veces gime y
Our
llora,
homegirl, Megan,
otras
thank
veces
you.
canta y ríe. Zapateate serrana, haces del cuerpo pedazos, haces del cuerpo pedazos, zapateate serrana. Zapateate serrana, haces del cuerpo pedazos, haces del cuerpo pedazos, zapateate serrana. Todos aquí juntitos que yo le cuento los cachos, que yo le cuento los cachos, despacito, despacito. Dulce que madera, rico aroma y cómo suena, rico aroma y cómo suena, cedro dulce que madera. Cedro dulce que madera, rico aroma y cómo suena, rico aroma y cómo suena. Con permiso yo te pido.
I was suddenly remixing and DJing on iTunes. I was trying to put it lower, dim it. Not even dim, that's for light. Lower, lower, lower. So thank you so much. That was Entre Mujeres, our homegirl, sister friend, producer of the En La Catch CD in 2007. Marta Elvira Gonzalez of the band Quetzal, her project Entre Mujeres, which she got together all her homegirls, all her comadres, all her maestras, and made an album of Entre Mujeres, right? With Jarocho influence and so much more. So shout outs to Marta. She's about to come out with a book about Chicana Artivistas. Actually, it's out already, I believe, but now with all of this, similar to the Coatlicue girl, think it's like probably going to be a virtual one right now, a virtual book release, and in the future and then soon, hopefully many other things. So thank you so much to Entre Mujeres for our not live, but through music and the virtual reality and not Spotify, iTunes, and all of the streaming things, we can have our música and the Mujeres while still being safe at home. So next up, we're gonna do another round robin. It's going to be Etica, then Gris, Kim, and Edies, and then we'll have some time for chatting and checking in if people can share at that time, and of course Q&A. Q&A is gonna be a little bit hard this time. Maybe you can Q&A each other. We can look at our DMs and our Facebook, and because we're not officially live on there, we just have the YouTube streaming live on the Facebook page. That might be a little bit hard versus them punching in at Facebook. But if you want to, feel free to let us know through the DMs and all those types of things so we can take a look at it. And again, we're live streaming at YouTube. It will be on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We only had 13 because we barely used our only 13 subscribers, but hopefully today we're going to make it to, let's say, 28, a good number, 2 and 8. I love those numbers, right? Or 44. Either of those, by having you all subscribe to our channel, do that. I love when people on YouTube go like that. So I'm going to do that. Subscribe to our channel, wherever it might be down there. And of course, if you haven't followed these amazing poets, follow them. I'm actually mentioned to them to tell us what their Instagram handles are. If it's not already in their name, you can put a little piece of paper and post it up so people can see it, because sometimes people are like, how do you spell it? We have, of course, tagged them on our Instagram, on our Facebook, all those things, so you can find them there. And we look forward to that. So next up is Etica. Etica, please take it away. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that music, man. That was hot. I'm like, where do I find that? I need that in my life. That must have been so beautiful seeing live. That's so beautiful to know, that this work is being done by Mujeres. And here we are continuing the work. So everybody said their Mujeres and Maiz story and their fest story. I want to say my fest story too. So I attended critical racial, or no, it was Mujeres Activistas Letras y Cambio Social, Maiz. And then I think I went to a workshop with, and I was young, I was just starting grad school. I was really, really young. I think I was 20. And I saw Fe doing a workshop on poetry and artivism. And here she was, this beautiful, like, mujer, combining all these beautiful things that made sense to me. And just watching her gave me the permission to, like, create or create out loud the kind of life that I wanted to live as an artist and an activist. And so much thanks for Fe, who is, just legendary in just the community of Chicanas or Mujeres. So I appreciate you, Fe, and we've been in contact for many years, and I think you even helped me with my thesis in grad school and all types of things. So I appreciate you, and I'm just so honored to be here again. So yes. And I just want to give a shout out to my beautiful family standing over there. They're like, oh, should we come over, right? Gabriel.
Yes,
Vanessa.
we want to see the family. Earlier on with my students on Zoom, I finally showed them to my house, and I was like, this is my house.
Hi, Vanessa, my sister, and they're so wonderful and beautiful, and I love them so much. So thank you for being here. Yes, so shout out to family. All right, so this second poem is a poem that I set an intention of how we move through time, and I really believe that part of our gifts is to travel through time, travel through memory, travel through prayer and the intentions for the future and the memories and intentions in the past. And so I give you and offer you this poem. Mine is the lineage of futurists, visionaries who bled litany from in between their legs, drafted new constellations on the dirty canvases of their grief, cradled unnamed oceans birthed in the belly of a wild rage. I have forgotten their names, though I will never forget how to move in the dark waters of their unspoken memories, cautiously, carefully, learning to translate the blueprints of their joy, pushing myself against the possessing currents of their shame. I have remembered my name, told to take hold of a hope that I could exist without the chains of a tortured past, and a joy that might last outside of a fleeting moment, a hidden smirk, a timid gesture of selflessness. I have found a new name. Coded in the movement of germinating waters, there is a future to be born yet. New words to be spoken, songs to be sung, medicine to be made. You see, I remember our names. Memories of descendants born free in explosions of tenderness and the joyful sounds of tumbling walls. Descendants who have met the crevices of freedom and know that she is more than an aching dream that bruises and bleeds us all. I remember a future full of food, grown by mothering hands, respected stewards of freed lands and healed waters, baptized by the laughter of children and fathers named collaborators and ambassadors of hope. I remember a future full of pride, where one knows how to celebrate when differences collide, enamored by the beauty of traveling worlds and building bridges with our hearts, knowing love is the most valuable art, and we the earth, its most masterful teachers. Thank you.
Aw, qué bonito. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
I am so grateful you exist, Mujer. I am so grateful for your life.
Thank you. I just want to say that it just became really real for me because I've been such a witness to the love in this home that has received me, and with our hands in the earth, and the beautiful Gabriel who has just filled this home with laughter and belleza. And I'm so grateful for all of them, all of this family that has received me, and to witness that love and to live into that love in this moment of transitioning into a world that you know, that honors us, that honors what we bring as the carriers of love, as humans, as part of this mama, this Pachamama. So I'm so grateful. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Hugs, hugs, hugs. We want to see that. Oh, we want to see them again. The beautiful gente. So we can give them some energy. Woo-hoo. They don't have to come in if they don't want to. We're all forcing people in. Only consensual.
They're all like, no, I gotta go put on a shirt.
I know. Consensual live streaming only. Love, family. Muchas gracias. Oh, qué bonito. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, there's so many different experiences right now, right? There is experiences of family sheltering in place. There's a solo sheltering in place. There are roommates sheltering in place. There are 5 families sheltering in place. There are no shelter, right? Or no place. And that's so real right now for so many. So it's beautiful to see the love that's happening, right? The vulnerability that's happening, and the connection that's happening. And Poesía opens that up. You know, you were sharing that it pops, it's like, here's my corazón, here's my poem, right? And then here are my tears, you know, and I think all of us, because we share like that, or most of us, you know, share that way, and are oftentimes, you get that right before feeling of crying when you're sharing. I feel like that all the time, and I don't really share anymore. I haven't shared in years. And so it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, because it's healing for you, I hope. And then it's healing for us. And you just healed at least 6 people. And I'm sure on YouTube, I wish we had it live so people could be like writing things right now. Oh, we're going to have to figure that out. But DM us or on the Facebook message. I want to see some of the information there. Thank you so much. So
I just wanted to say too that I changed my name. My handle for everything online is at Etica Chilome, so it's there. And
there, perfect.
out.
Yes,
Yeah.
and thank you. And for the other poets, let's see. For the other poets, if you want to have a piece of paper, if you think that the spelling's hard or whatever, most of our community is all good. Oh, and so people can comment on YouTube live. I know some, so I was just told by one of our co-sisters, homegirls, and femme goddess extraordinaire, Moni Hurtado. She's texting me like, it's live on YouTube, so you can go check out the comments there. So if people want to put comments there, I'm gonna check there, and on Facebook, I'm gonna try and do that while we move everything else around. And hopefully that will give us some interaction the way we really want. We're interacting and feeling that energy. I know they're feeling it, but to be able to comment. All right, so up next, let's see if I can find home. Who's up next?
I think I am.
Yes, La Gris. So Gris, are you ready to share a little bit?
Sure. And
Awesome. So it sounds like we're going to be homegirl's going to be sending us the questions so people can write it on YouTube and I'll look on Facebook and we'll answer those. So por favor, Gris, in all your glory and energía, please share. Are you going to be sharing anything from Coatlicue, girl?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm reading exclusively from Coatlicue Girl tonight. And also I'm just going to gush over Etica, but like, thank you so much for that energy. You are just bringing a lot of joy into this reading and a lot of light and a lot of love. And it's helping everybody. Thank you so much. I'm reading a poem in Spanish that I just love. It's called Las Diosas. It's helping. It's called Las Diosas, and this poem, I just want to share the incredible illustration. This book is a collaboration with a wife-husband muralist team from El Paso, Juarez called Los Dos. And you can see there's articles on La Mezcla, and they're just all over the place. They're super, super popular. And she illustrated Las Diosas, and it's just gorgeous. The abuelas, and you can't really tell, but their earrings are tires. They're wearing like arracadas out of tires. It's just this, and so and you can't really tell, but I just gave the manuscript to the artist and had them come up with whatever images they wanted to create out of it. And so these illustrations that are in the book are 4 completely original illustrations from Los Dos. This one is for Las Diosas. Las diosas viven en casas de cartón, papeles desechados. Toman el agua que vive en los charcos. Caminan solas por calles oscuras sin nombre marcado. Las diosas celebran debajo de las revoluciones. De periódicos cosen vestidos y hacen fiestas en los callejones. Construyen moños de todos los colores usando bolsas de plástico y cordones. Cuidan de las niñas que viven sin dulces realidades, vendiendo gomas de chicle en galaxias siderales, en puentes de plomo que separan 2 lenguajes y unen los vicios comunales. Cuidan de las mujeres vendiendo su piel en las calles, cuerpos sagrados usando disfraces. Corren detrás de carros gritando, pero como todo lo hacen cantando, no las escucha nadie. Las diosas no duermen, esperan afuera de salones de baile por jovencitas que están encomendadas a ellas por humildes madrecitas. Las diosas viven en casas de cartón, cajas de refri con palabras escurridas. Son sencillas. No existen sentadas en sillas divinas. o altares con fruta y cosecha de milpas, dicen, dáselo a las vivas. Thank you.
Woo.
Yes, so good.
And I started writing in Spanish, even though I grew up speaking Spanish at home, but I never really wrote in Spanish. And I was writing poetry in English, and I went to an event somewhere, a local event, and there was abuelos there. And I'll never forget it. An abuelita came up to me after my reading, and she said, pues, no te entendí lo que dijiste, pero me gustó mucho. And I was like, damn, what am I doing? Who am I writing for if I don't have poems for them? And so I had to teach myself. I actually didn't know how to write poetry in Spanish, and it was very hard. And actually, when I write it like in English, and I translate, and I have to use a thesaurus, and it's this whole thing. But it's so important to me to have poems in Spanish for those abuelos that are coming to these events, and they have to feel like, you know, it's there for them. And so there's a few poems in Coatlicue Girl, because it's really hard for me to write prose in Spanish, but I can do poetry. And so I just wanted to share that I think it's important for us to, I know Spanish is the conqueror's language too, and you know, I totally agree with all of that, but the abuelitos, they're there, they're sitting there, you know.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you for saying that.
Muted. I have, it's, you know, trying to like mute myself, unmute myself. I'm sorry. I was like checking on the YouTube and I had to mute myself. We're learning. We are learning this online ofrenda. So, and I, you know, I am such a person with like Wise Woman Wednesdays, Warrior Woman Wednesdays. The Soto Tuesday we had yesterday for our homegirl who had a happy birthday. I was like, what do we figure? It's not Feature Friday. So online ofrendas, online offerings, we're going to be offering, you know, pushed us to make it happen, but it's really beautiful. So hopefully we continue to do this. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you actually go to the live feed, there is a live feed with like 100 comments. It's a chat actually on YouTube. And they are just like, it's all about hearts. There's so many hearts. There's so many things being said there. That's where you suddenly heard, you know, yourself, Gris, like talking back to yourself. Sorry about that, but I had to go check it. And that's what was happening there. So if you check the YouTube, it's pretty amazing what's happening there. I'm hoping that it's not just, they're not comments, it's in the chat of the live stream. So hopefully you're able to see it. And I'm going to let you know, we'll be letting Mujeres and Maiz team, our circle, are going to be letting you know if there's any information that we can share with you in terms of, there have been questions so far about where to get your books. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. Or if you have it like ready to also just say the website so they could see it, because sometimes people are like, how do you spell it, right? Be ready for that, your Instagram handles, and any next online offerings or workshops that you might be doing. I know some poets are doing that. I'm not sure if any of you are. And maybe we can do that if you'd like to. We can have some private like poetry sessions, or if y'all want to do that, just let us know. And we can try and make that happen. Right now, we're really trying to facilitate all our holistic practitioners and our poets and our artists so that they can be supported in that way, especially through right now. So Etica and Gris just did their second poem, and we're ready for Kim to share some of the poesía. I just realized I hadn't pinned myself, so you were seeing like other people while I was talking. So it is definitely something to like do all these things at once. So Kim, are you ready?
Ready.
Awesome. Well, give us some of your poesía, your palabra, and tell us, also share a little bit about at least the title of your book, and then we'll talk about all our books in just a bit.
Cool. Title of book, Mariposa and Mija.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ahí les voy. I'm like ready. Imagine a world full of mujeres loving themselves. Imagine a world in which mujeres stopped resting their heads below men's feet. Imagine a world in which Black and brown girls see their mamis glowing como el sol y las estrellas, día y noche. Sus mamis brillan, sus mamis bailan, sus mamis las abrazan. Imagine a world where we didn't need Vaporú for our bleeding hearts. Imagine a world full of gardens, jardines, mujeres loving themselves, filling the world with their fragrance, filling the world with their dreams, filling the world with their brown and Black joy. I want this world, so I'm planting seeds. It starts with me, this wild motherfucking flower about to give birth to a galaxy in which Black and brown women are the sun and the moons, and our scars turn into stars. Imagine a world of constellations telling stories about mujeres who chose love. Love for every cell in their being, love for every scar, love for every story they carry, love for who they are. Stars telling stories of women who turned into gardens, who turned earth into flowers and reclaimed all of their power.
Snap, snap, snap. We're snapping it all around. Gracias. Thank you so much. So we're seeing the handles are being shared by the Femme Goddess Moni Hurtado on our YouTube live in the chat. She put all your Instagram handles so you can get it there. We're getting questions about where to get the books. We're getting snaps, happy faces, heart emojis, fire emojis, fist emojis. Just got my copy in the mail. Very excited to read it. I think that was about Gris, Cuatlico Girl. Where can we purchase your book? Tell us more about your book launch party, Gris. Thank you for this much needed. Gracias por compartir. I love you. Energía hermosa, so beautiful. Wow, medicina. I'm trying to read it like how people would say it. Let's see how else. Forgot to pin myself again. Medicina, beautiful, so beautiful. I have remembered my name. Yes, create out loud. Yes. Gracias, hermanas chingonas poderosas. Being one with the plants. I'm going reverse, so you might realize like your poet name. Stay grounded in Pachamama's womb. Edies, your poem gave me a hug. People are screaming silently, so deep, I felt that. Tongva lands, yay, planta, planta, poem, tu poem. Planta, 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 tu poema me encanta. Yeah, there's a whole lot of snaps and like queens and reinas and all that. So you guys gotta check it out. Hopefully it stays up after because it's not the official comments. It's like the chat. So we are ready for our next poet. It's technically our last poem, we thought, right? It's already like 7:15. We're thinking maybe this would be an hour or so, but you know, comadre sessions, spirit sessions, this is what happens. We're on spirit's time. We're on Madre Tierra's time. Speaking of Madre Tierra's time, yesterday while working in the middle of the night at midnight, I was like, whoa, we had an earthquake, a Madre Tierra quake here. And we were like, me and my roomie were like, dang, we are here sheltering at home, stay safe at home, and there is an earthquake at home. How y'all feeling? Those in Los Angeles, we were like, there was only 3 of us, I guess, of the 5, but that was something for sure. So we're wanting to honor and give much love to Madre Tierra. She is shaking, she is moving, she is snapping, just like we are in these poems. And Edies, please share some of your poesía, your hugs, your poem hugs. I love that idea and that like visual. Go ahead. Edies de Anda.
Bueno, I want to just go ahead and wrap it up with this poem that I wrote for Mujeres de Maiz. It's my first time sharing with you guys. Yeah, some more medicina. It's Women of the Corn. Came to me in dreamtime memory, Many moons before the flesh, meeting around a sacred fire in a cornfield we gather, by circle and hands interlocked. Under the light of Coyoshauqui covered in rebosos of arcoiris, I remembered them from lives past. From the blue Maiz, we learned of laughter. We learned of things that matter, the tears for all the strife and sometimes mistaking one for the other. From the yellow Maiz, we gained love of knowledge and strength for the days ahead, to give thanks while breaking bread. From the red Maiz, we carried the blood and the fire and the roots to be grounded in our cultura, while the rose stood as witness against the thorns before us. From the purple Maiz, we sung the songs of the first counting in languages of lost tongues. Drums and rattles make for good medicine, so we continue the dance. Soon the four directions manifest in the womb of the woman warrior. Seeds are planted in bloom, with time calling for the sisters to gather across the nations. Bring forth palabra y voz, cantos for the tierra, hope for those who are lost now under the sixth sun. We rise in full form, remember to ancient wisdom reborn. In the raíz of all mujeres, our connections take hold, spiritual threads interwoven in the art and the words that are spoken. By night and day, por noche y día, we live with direct action por vida, to bring forth memory in Lakesh, you are my other me. Whether with a fist in the air or our fingers in the earth, chants at a rally or planting herbs in our hearth, rising with el sol or dreaming with la luna, we are true to our nature, fearless in freedom, standing in sisterhood, weaving waking stories born of brujas, agua, tierra, aire, fuego, celestial beings incarnated, the council of our feminine, reaching out across the galaxies into the mountains and deserts of our grandmother's trenzas. We yearn for social justice made manifest in the footsteps we conceive, and do believe in a new horizon, Pachamama for the next 7 generations, solar cycle of our world, where the word of the woman is the incantation of our elders, visions of the little ones protecting each other, growing in the milpa of milagros, where the journey extends into the future of all life on this planet, as the medicine we carry from our hearts to yours transverses time and space. And so it was we came again, and so it was we came again, to remember our place, all that we inspire in one another, gifts of grace under the altar of stars. With each kernel we exist and resist, reflections of ourselves, ofrendas of ourselves. Somos todos y somos nada. Somos mujeres de maíz.
Snap, snap, somos mujeres de maíz.
Así es, así es.
Muchas gracias, mujer de maíz, mujeres de maíz, mujeres de viento, mujeres de agua, mujeres de tierra, mujeres de fuego, mujeres de palabra, mujeres con palabra.
Mm-hmm.
We are in La Quech CD, put out in 2007, produced by members of Quetzal and Marta Gonzalez, who is the person who put together Entre Mujeres, the song that we played earlier, was the producer for our album, and our album was called Mujeres con Palabra. And one of our songs is Viento, Agua, Tierra, Fuego, which I shared a little bit earlier from In La Quech and from my comadrita, Cristina Gorosica. And so I want to send a shout out to the In La Quech sisters, to all the mujeres that are part of Mujeres de Maiz, whether you just came to an event once in 1997, whether you were on stage, whether you put exhibits up, whether you were a vendor, whether you were just in the audience, like some of my students this semester, you are part of Mujeres de Maiz, you know, consensual if you want to be, but we like claim you all. And we connect in that way, que todos somos, you know, the Zapatista saying that we are all todos somos. So thank you so much. I wanted to open it up if there's questions. I know there was a question about some of the music that we played. So we are playing that, or we put that in the chat on YouTube, the songs that we'll be sharing. There's just gonna be 2. If there's any questions, I see a lot of so beautiful, so much energy. What a beautiful way to close, screaming loudly, roses, all these fists, all these types of things, aplausos that are happening. You're welcome. An old school homie from like 20 years ago, Rich Getler, hello. Any questions? Yeah, put it there. Fem Goddess Morning Hurtados, reminding everybody if there's any questions, put it there and we'll see it and we'll ask them. So in the meantime, while we wait for some questions, because I don't see anything quite yet, I wanted to have a little chat session, just a few minutes. Any question? Let us know about your books and your materials one by one. So let's see who's ready. Kim, can you share about your book?
Yes. First one is Mariposa. Can you hear me? Are we good? Should I go? All right. All the questions. First one's Mariposa. I wrote this maybe like, it was, I would write like one a day, más o menos, like on and off for like 3-4 years when I was going through my, I would say like my metamorphosis. And I learned to tell myself the things that I needed to hear that no one was telling me. And I had to learn how to write love letters to myself and the women around me, especially when I was hurting and especially when I was learning to love myself and reclaim myself. So that was that, or that is that. And I feel like it's Vaporu that I go back to constantly because I think healing is a journey, and I'm still healing, and like there's still things that I need, and there's wounds that are in the process. And Mija, I wrote first like a piece to myself with things that I wish I had heard as a daughter growing up, and messages that I wish for the next generation to carry or to hear that perhaps may be needed, and things that were passed down that perhaps need to be unlearned and challenged, and messages that need to be reclaimed and rewritten. So that's what Mija is about.
Where can people purchase it?
You can get them Instagram. I have like an Etsy shop. Website is coming within like 2 weeks. I'm not a technology person, but brownbadassbonita.com is about to happen. And they're also available on Amazon.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Mujer. We appreciate it. And get your books at Brown Badass Bonita. I did like a remix of that earlier, and I was like, I cannot post that.
Some people call me brown ass bonita, but I'm like, my ass is the least brown part of my body.
Girl, I did do that in Insta story, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna let that go. It was like a minute long one, and I had to re-erase it and redo it. And I was like, brown ass, no. But laughter is medicine, girl. We need some comic relief too, and I'm all about that. So, Gris, let us know how to find out about your book.
This book.
Open it up
This
really
book
quick.
that I can't seem to keep them in stock, and I'm just so honored. I waited so long to put this book out. I started working on it. I think the earliest piece I wrote that I actually wrote was in 2006. That was the first piece that's in here. One of the earliest pieces. So this book has taken me a very long time. It's Liquid Girl, and it's just a whole trajectory. I would say it's a book about growing up queer on the border. You can find it at flowersongbooks.com. You can get it through me personally. And you know what you just said, Etsy, right? That's a great place to, I've been trying to figure out exactly how to do this. So as of now, if you get it from me, you will receive it signed and dedicated. And I write really cheesy dedications to everybody because I just care so much. And so every single one I like kind of obsess over and say things, sweet things to everybody. So you can get it from me on, you can find me at Gris Munoz Gris on Instagram, or Gris Munoz on Facebook. And I have a website, grismunoz.com, but it actually doesn't have a link to the book. So maybe I can figure that out. And it's available on, every other, your Amazons and your Barnes and Nobles and whatnot. But I do say that if you order from me, then you get that sweet, cheesy dedication. And so we have a book release coming out this next week on Wednesday, and it's going to be hosted through Mujeres de Maiz. And this is so exciting because I had to cancel my tour. The book came out and I had to cancel everything for the summer. And I've been kind of just, well, I mean, honestly, it's the least of my problems right now. You know, I just want everyone around me to be healthy, and that's really keeping myself, and I'm a mom. And so it's kind of like everything's going on, but it was sad to have to cancel the party. And it's just such an amazing opportunity to have it live and to be able to invite everybody there. So we will be the 29th, we'll be back here on the 29th around the same time. And I'll have more books, and maybe I'll have some sort of, I don't know, some sort of deal or some sort of thing. But again, flowersongbooks.com, or you can message me directly and I can send you one.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mujer. We appreciate knowing about your book, Guatlicue Girl. Again, you can find it come next Wednesday. So the questions, we have a couple of questions and we're going to get to them in just a bit, but one of them that we can answer already is, when is this happening again? So people are like, when is this happening again? So we're not doing a group reading yet. For another few weeks, we have individual featured poets. So each of the poets, if they choose, a few of them are figuring it out, or for each Wednesday, we're going to come back. So next Wednesday is just Gris and her launch party of her book. It's Gris and whatever she wants to do, or whoever else she wants to invite. So it might be another poet, and it is a DJ.
Oh my God. And I got DJ Mala Vida from Oakland, and she is just the dreamiest. And so, and I have a surprise guest that I'm going to be announcing as well.
So look out for the flyers that we're going to be, the promo that's going to be coming out. But next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll most likely do the YouTube. We wanted to do Facebook too, but it didn't work this time. So we're doing our best to figure out how to make it all happen. We did go on Instagram for like an hour and then it kicked us out. So it only allows us so much time to do this. So Etica, can you please let us know about any of your merch or books or stuff for the future?
Yes, first and foremost, I want to share these beautiful earrings with y'all, because earrings. This says, migration is indigenous. And this was a gift to me from my beautiful Lakota sister, Autumn White Eyes, who runs a shop called Indigifem, and she does beautiful work, and I want y'all to go support her. She's also a poet, queer poet, and Indigifem. So I'll post it on my Instagram afterwards if y'all follow me, and y'all will get a link to her work and her shop. So I just love this gift. She gave it to me in the last gathering that I got to go to on Tiwa territory, and she handed me these, and I just was like bawling, right? Because it's a lot of the conversation of what it means for indigenous folks in diaspora to connect and to find our narrative in that weaving of indigeneity here. So migration is indigenous, y'all, and it's a beautiful thing. So I am currently the author of 2 books. One is called She Speaks Poetry, and it's my first collection from 2015. You know, we all feel some sort of way about our earlier work. It was a different time. But, it was my truth then. I look at it now and I'm like, ooh, but it was my truth then. And it is the medicine that, I was called to give. So I give that out. And my most recent book that I'm really, really proud of is El Poemario del Colibrí, which is completely bilingual for the same reasons that Gris had brought up, that it's so important. And I have a note in the prologue of, or in the introduction of why it's important for us to, as storytellers, as poets, as writers, to bridge the generations, right? And my intention with this book was that it could sit in a home, an intergenerational home, and everyone could pick it up, right? And that everyone could talk about it and engage in it. And so it's short poems, because also it's like, a lot of people don't like to read. Our people don't like to read very long. So it's very accessible, and it also gives a testimony of my journey in this last year of the spirit and medicine work that I've been doing, especially in my lands in Central America. So it was written in collaboration with a collective of artists in Guatemala, young people, and you'll read more about them as soon as you get the book. And it's just such a beautiful, they did the book cover. It's such a beautiful journey. So you can get both of those on my website, edicachilome.com, and you can see more videos and things that I've produced and directed, and an update on this new journey I'm taking on developing a play that I wrote a few years ago into a series. I'm not gonna say more than that because I think I'm not supposed to, but we're on this journey of working towards a series for the screen, another platform for storytelling and poetry and music, and the cultivation of our dreams manifesting as Black and Brown women. So I'm excited about that. So you can keep up with me and the collective that I'm a part of, the gatherings that we're doing and the ways that we're thinking through this work, and then also open to collaborations with all of y'all and many of y'all about how we can grow a story and a narrative that encapsulates the future we want to see and the reflections we want to see on the screen. So I'm open to that, and I love all of y'all, and I'm so grateful to be here, and yes.
Thank you. I'm using those Zoom like claps and hands and stuff, those reactions, so that we can begin to share and understand. Let me see, and share and understand in that way. So I hope you all are writing all this down, taking your notes, or following them on Instagram, following them on Facebook, where you can find out how to do that. There is a question that we're going to have coming up, and it was, how do y'all stay motivated? I'm going to say it now so that you can think about it, and then Edies will mention her books. How do you all stay motivated to write? Let me make sure if I got that right. How do y'all stay motivated to keep writing? Let's see. And I think that might be it that I see. So how do y'all stay motivated to keep writing? Can you think of that? That's our one last question I think that we'll have. And then Edies, can you please share how to get your book or any updates that's coming on that in terms of merch?
So I just received the 4th printing of Code Switch, Fires from Mi Corazon. I'm so grateful. This book is 6 years old. It came out in April of 2014, National Poetry Month. And it's been taught at different universities for ethnic studies. And so I'm so grateful to the universe, to the ancestors, the abuelas that put the palabras in me. This has my pocha poem. And you know, it's there, so you guys can Venmo, you can PayPal me, find me on Instagram. I am working on 2 manuscripts at the moment. One of them is Roots of Redemption, hoping to publish with Flower Song, and then Gris and I will be press sisters. And then I also am working on one called The Dreamer is Awake, and so just stay tuned for those. But I encourage you all to buy our sisters' poetry, all of these books, our Medicina. The artists are giving us life right now. You know, we're home doing what we can do day to day, sometimes to keep our minds occupied, to you know, make it through this moment that we're getting to live through. And art is our medicine, and support your local artists. A lot of the gigs did get canceled, and so you know, we give to you, you give to us. And thank you, Mujeres de Maiz, for the platform, and thank you all you ladies. It was great to share energy with you tonight. Gracias.
Faye, you're on mute.
Sorry. I do that a lot with my students, but I hadn't been doing it too much here. I was doing a good job at trying to unclick. So thank you so much, Edies. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to ask y'all one last question. Maybe keep it brief. I know people are probably tired, gotta go eat, have the child waiting, etc. But how do y'all keep motivated to keep writing is the question that was asked. And the second thing is, what is your Venmo or what is your PayPal, so that people can send you some feria, not just for the books, but just because like you said, the gig economy, the floricanto that people would have paid $2 for, $5 for to walk into, and then had a coffee at the cafe and had paid $3 for gas to drive over there, all that. You can also donate to these amazing femme energy poets letters. So you can send them a couple dollars, $10, $2, $1, $20, whatever you'd like, whatever you have. Again, only if you can. What is your Venmo or PayPal or, you know, not your address, but what is it that, how can you get some feria? So go ahead and let's mix it up. Etica, can you go?
Yeah. So my Venmo and Cash App and all that is at eticachinome.com. So if you are able and willing to give offering, it is so appreciated. And yeah, continuing supporting each other in this alternative economy during this time is how we move forward. So I appreciate everything. And also, the question, how do I keep motivated in writing? I mean, pandemic or not, this is always such an intense question, I think, for writers. I think I have had to find the grace and the patience to really honor the cycles of my creativity and the ways that it is expressed. Mm-hmm. So like there are years, sometimes months, weeks where I don't ever pick up a pen or type anything. And I have to be okay with that because I feel like it's not in my nature to be this constantly producing person. And I think that that narrative is put onto many of us because of a capitalist kind of high production model that we're taught, and we're made to feel guilty when we don't fit into that. So I don't produce a lot, you know, I do struggle with that when I get on social media and I see other poets that are, you know, spitting out poems a day, spitting out books every year. And so it can get, that agüitas poquito, ¿verdad? But it's also like my medicine runs on its own time. It runs on its own spiritual kind of cycles. And I know that I'm ready to release when there's an alchemy that comes together with people, with conversations, with a place and moment in my body that I know it's time to release. And I take the time to isolate myself to do that. So honoring and recognizing how your body speaks to you, recognizing how your creativity moves in your heart is really important. And you have to do that really deep, dark work of being sad, of recognizing that you don't know yourself, recognizing that, you know, you're not going to be what everyone wanted you to be or do it the way other people do. And so grace is really important. Grace for yourself, grace for your process, and grace for knowing that writing is not for praise. It's not for getting famous. And if you're doing it for those reasons, you're probably not going to produce in any authentic ways. You have to do it for yourself first and for your community second and for the ways you feel you fit into this world and what your spirit is calling you to do. So honor that, honor whatever it takes to honor that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Grace, can you share, please?
Sure. And I wrote it down.
Yes.
This is actually my PayPal email. It's ranatzin@gmail.com.
I think that was cool.
And my Venmo is like
not like I don't have all of them my same name. I should.
My Venmo is some sort of weird, I don't know, I can't think of it right now. But I did want to also agree with Etica in regard to cycles and in regard to my writing as well. Absolutely, you know, they Christians like to talk about the dark night of the soul. I've experienced that in regard to my creativity, and just there were times when, like when I was pregnant, I didn't write a thing. And it was hard on me. And then I realized that it was because my body was creating. My body was busy creating. And so I've gone through just different phases where I, like, you know, Erika said, there's just times where I'm not producing, while at the same time, I just like never gave up. Like if a poem comes after something happens or a story comes, you know, and even then it'll take me years. Like my stories took years to just rewrite them and fix them. And, you know, and so for me, this book, it took 12 years to put out. And it seems like, you know, I was on a panel recently, and every poet was asked how long it took to write their book, and some, you know, 2 years, 3 years. And then it got to me and I said 12 years. And I thought, I cannot take another 12 years to put out my next book. So this one really, really took a long time for me. And that's really because I, you know, just honored the process. And it's a little harder for me now because I have a commissioned work and I'm writing somebody's biography. I'm writing prose, I'm writing a life story that is not my story. It's someone else's story. And so sometimes I have to like make myself get to work because sometimes some people say that it's easier telling someone else's story, but I find it easier to tell my own stories. Or at least maybe I have more, you know, I don't know. But so I do have to channel just my higher self with this biography that I've been working on, because I don't really have the luxury of just writing whenever I feel like it. And so I don't know. I guess that inspiration just comes.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Mujer. We are going to ask, you've already mentioned Kim, ¿verdad? I'm already getting a little bit lost in stuff here. Did you already shared exactly where to get the books? And yes, a little bit you shared, but. And the question, did you want to answer? You don't have to, not everybody has to answer, but did you want to share anything?
Yes. I want to hop on the earring train too. These.
I want to know.
I know. You have to do it like the YouTube style.
You know, like the like these beautiful. My friend, my sister beaded these, and she's in. Well, they not anymore. They grew up in the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, and I'll put her info. She beads these beautiful earrings, and I honor her work and their life, because they're amazing, creative, beautiful humans. And writing, I agree with what both of you said. Like, we're not machines, and I think a lot of times we feel that pressure. I often think of writing as like a bridge between my darkness and light, and I have to sit with myself in those dark moments, and writing kind of sometimes gets me to the light, but sometimes it just has me sitting in the darkness a little bit longer. And as humans, I feel like we hold both, and sometimes at the same time. Mariposa, I didn't write it with the intention of being a book. I was like in a really dark place in life, processing a lot of trauma and processing a lot of like intergenerational, I guess, like wounds and cycles for the first time. And this is what I needed at that moment. I needed to write what I was feeling and write what my heart needed. And I would like make time. I had a lot of time by myself. I was living in Seattle where it would rain all the time. So and I didn't really know anyone. So I would sit and write with myself. And that was probably the first time I was able to do that. And I was terrified of writing, and I was terrified of myself. So little by little, I would spend that time to write for me and with me. And then a mentor who is also a writer, I asked her, like, I was like annoyed. I'm like, why do I even write these things? Like, no one's asking me to, but I feel it, like I need it. It's become part of like my process, my healing. And at times she said, like, we feel like we write because we're called, and it's part of our calling to write and to share these messages that we are, like these messages and these journeys that we are walking through. So then she told me, like, when you're ready, like, let me know and we'll make your work into a book. But I was just like, nah. One, I didn't see myself as a writer, and two, I was just like, that's just a little bit like not yeah. I was just like, nah, thanks, but like, not me. until like a few years after that, I told her like, hey, I'm ready. And then we sat, she's like, meet me at this coffee shop tomorrow. And then we sat down and I like presented her my stuff, but it was written, I write out of need and journey.
Gracias. What is your Venmo, perhaps, or PayPal?
Brown Badass Bonita.
Brown Badass Bonita, for tips or just donations for the femme labor, for the femme poetry, for the poetas, like pretending, you had to pay that $2 donation to walk in, to our cafe, to our Wise Words Wednesdays, Floricanto at the Cultural Center online. And thank you so much, Mujer. So, Edies, I think, did you share? If you can share how to, if you have a Venmo or PayPal?
So it's setting, the sun's setting. It's getting a little dark here, ladies. But my Venmo is at Edies de Anda. And I just to add to what the women said about the writing process.
Yes.
I think it comes when it needs to come, and when it doesn't come as poetry, sometimes it might come for you as a painting, or for me lately it started coming through music because the words wouldn't come. It's like my throat chakra wanted to close for a little bit, but still trying to find that way to move the energy. And so it came through canción, and Floricanto is that, right? But I always also encourage everybody to, it doesn't have to be poetry. It doesn't have to seem like what you're putting down is going to be the final product. I tell people I'm a lazy writer. I write, I guess I call it the muse. I call it my abuelas. Like, it comes and it's on the paper, and you got to just trust that. And you have to trust that your voice is going to speak to somebody, even if it's not making sense to you in that moment. Sometimes you're writing, for your future self in some sense as well. And so I'm just encouraging all of you to pick up your pen, pick up your guitar, pick up your paintbrush, pick up, if you do math and science, then pick that up. But we need your medicine right now. And anyway, thank you. Thanks for tonight. I feel full.
Muchas gracias. So thank you so much to all the sisters, to all our community, to all the communities that are sharing right now. I'm going to send all those who tuned in. There was a good amount of people messaging, giving hearts and stuff. Hopefully that shows up. We did put all the tip information into the PayPal. Most of them are Venmos, but our PayPal into our chat on the YouTube live stream. People are saying gracias por compartir tu luz. Gracias, hermosas palabras. Gracias, tiempo escrito en papel. So affirming to see how long it could take to become a writer. I can imagine it would take me a long time. Palabras con magia. Thank you, MDM. Always purchase from the author. One of the professors told them that. So inspiring. Yes, and gracias. So thank you.
Too. I just want to say thank you for being such a fabulous host. Your energy is so great. You did great. I think you're wonderful for this. So thank you. I just want to shout you out too.
Gracias. Sí, es mucha energía. I feel like when I've been doing I think I got practice doing my my student Zooms when there's like 40 Zooms and I'm mute. And they're like, Profe, you're muted. Profe, you're muted. And I'm like, So I do my best to like quiet it down. But thank you so much, sisters. I really appreciate it. This is going to be a live stream or always on YouTube now. We weren't planning on that, but it worked out in that way. And so people can check it out. You can get the link and share it and do that. Hopefully, thank you so much for taking, some good time out of your home life, your stay-at-home life, and sharing palabra. I know many of you are so busy. I'm like super busy. I feel like I'm 16 hours a day working, like way more than I ever was. I haven't been able to Netflix.
Take a break, girl. Take a break.
It's the grading. Like when we went online school, like Although that means you could like grade in Mexico or grade in like Hawaii.
Nobody goes harder. Nobody goes harder than Felicia.
Well, I have a poem about that. It's called Overcome Chicana Complex.
She is the
Or
James
something like, I'm
Brown.
just kidding.
She is the James Brown of Chicana poetry and culture. And the hardest working woman in show business, for sure.
Cool. Thank you so much, sisters. PayPal, Venmo, honor support, either Mujeres and Maiz, you can donate to mujeresenmaiz.com. Next Wednesday, the launch party book release of Gris Munoz. We're gonna let this Saturday, April 25th, it was supposed to be Chicano Park Day, the 50th anniversary of Chicano Park. I was hoping to go. I don't go every year to San Diego and kick it in Chicano Park. See about 100 different vendors, including a lot of the Mujeres and Maiz, but that's not happening. So what we started to do, we've had Mujer Mercaditos since 1997, where we would have events and we would have our vendors. So we're gonna do live shopping Saturdays. You know, me and my SS, I forget the term. What is the English term that it's called? Anybody? It's not onomatopoeia, something like that. Anyways, shopping Saturdays at the Mujer Mercadito. And we're this Saturday, we're starting with wellness vendors and practitioners. There's 5, including myself. I wasn't going to do it, but the femme goddess was like, girl, you have stuff too. Why don't you do it? I'm always giving spaces to other people. And I forget about my work too. So also it's just like a little bit of trabajo, like, right? Like I'm live, then you're live. And so we're going to have Bere and Berenice from Espejos Apothecary, Herbalism, Cantos de la Tierra, Mama Maiz, Atava from Ancestral Apothecary, selling their self-care items, their herbal wellness, their immunity boosters, amazing stuff. They're going to talk about it live. It's supposed to be on Instagram, and we're just doing Instagram, so a ver cómo nos va. And the Saturday after that, we're going to hopefully do like jewelry and clothing. Kim, we're going to hit you up. We haven't set those up yet, but every Saturday for the shopping Saturdays, to honor and support all our mujer vendors that mainly who have come and supported for us and always been a part of us, or even if not, but most of those. And then Mondays, we're going to be rolling out Music Mondays. So the first one's May 5th. I think it's May 5th, May 2nd. Monday, the first Monday in May. And they're going to be concerts of different mujeres. And then we're continuing with the Wednesdays. So thank you so much, sisters, for joining us. Give y'all a round of applause. Open up. You can unmute yourselves and give all kinds of energía.
So much. Yeah.
Yes.
Gracias, mujeres. Love you all.
Much love to everybody. Thank you for all for joining us, and check in on all the Instagrams, social media. Get those books. Get that support, and stay well, sisters, brothers, and all gender community. Stay well. Cuídense mucho. Nos vemos. Take care. Bye, everyone. Thanks again.